We welcome you to a moody, misty Friday afternoon at Pony Stadium, Stillwater Area High School in Oak Park Heights. I'm Mike Beaton, all by myself, talking to myself. That's Chaos Theory for you. We resume a series that has produced a lot of defense and some intense moments with the Stillwater Area Ponies hosting the Lakeville North Panthers as every sporting activity resumes their normal schedules. This is quite the series between these two teams that started up in 2017. They've met 4 times. Stillwater has tied twice and defeated Lakeville North twice. The last 2 meetings with Lakeville North, both victories. One came in 2018 in the first round of the Class AAA state tournament. We were with you in 2019, the last time these two teams met. Last season was a conference-only schedule due to the pandemic. Stillwater won that one, 1-0 on an awkward carom that Stillwater was able to pounce for the lone goal. This series has been defined by defense. 2 scoreless draws in 2017 and 2018. Stillwater will wear the black. Lakeville North will wear the white. Players to watch in the early part of the season: Stillwater, Marisa, Bonilla, CJ Fredkove, Luka Johnson, all with 2 goals. Most of them came in the 9-0 win over Moorhead. And for Lakeville North, Abby Ruhland and McKenna Lehman leading the way with 4 goals each. Lehman will go to St. Thomas next year, joining Lexi Huber, who is one of the top athletes to come out of Stillwater girls soccer. As you know, St. Thomas is a Division I school these days. So we're dealing with a little bit of miss. Nothing like we had yesterday when football kicked off the 2021 season, including right here at Pony Stadium with the Stillwater Ponies defeating the Centennial Cougars 7-0. Both of these teams ranked in the top 10 in the preseason. Lakeville North looking to make the first move, and Stillwater's defense holds steady. But they do get a deflection. Ashley Bennett was able to knock it off a Stillwater player, so Lakeville North will get its first corner kick. And they elect to play it short. And that will be a goal kick. Five o'clock start today. No JV games, so I was the first one to arrive. For a moment, I thought I made a mistake, but we're here, we're playing soccer, and as we said, these two teams ranked in the preseason. Mike Huber noted how tough Stillwater's schedule is, and that's one benefit of a return to normal on the part of the Ponies. Historically, they schedule tough. Soccer expanding to 3 classes this year. Not that it affects Stillwater any. Stillwater with the first attacking chance, but the pass up front a little too long. And a missed opportunity early on the part of the Ponies. Marisa Bonilla was in position, but couldn't quite catch up to that lead pass. So both teams getting an early glimpse. Okay, it's going to be a corner kick instead. I thought it was going the other way. So Stillwater will get its first corner from Amelia Bartosh. And that's headed away by the Lakeville North defense. Mike Huber mentioned that compared to last year, the Stillwater team lost 37 of the 54 goals they scored in 2020. The Ponies won their section, but a state tournament was not held. They ended up finishing the season as the #1 team in Class 2A. We'll never know what might have been with the state tournament, but you could say the same thing for schools like Lakeville North, Maple Grove, Centennial. A lot of teams left with questions unanswered. But that was the difficult part about the pandemic. It made for no good options. But one perk, one positive, throughout last season, no Stillwater team had to cancel or reschedule a game due to COVID protocols. Across the sports spectrum, I heard a lot of positive feedback about the discipline this team exhibited, this school exhibited, to make sure games could be played safely. Another corner kick coming up for the Ponies. This is their second. So Bartosz will line up again. Still early in the season, so a lot of trends, a lot of questions to be answered, but one thing's for sure, Stillwater, based on the preseason poll and the expansion to 3 classes, again, that doesn't really affect Stillwater or Lakeville North. They were big schools anyway. But Stillwater, based on the preseason, would play 7 of the top 10 teams in Class 3A. They already took on one of them, Rosemount, the number 1 team in 3A, lost that one 3-1. Other games on the schedule, Edina, White Bear Lake in their conference. That could be a game to watch. Maple Grove, Centennial, and Lakeville North, of course. So now all of our camera ops are here. It was a bit of an adventure making our way here on Highway 36 with the 5 o'clock game. We've got play at midfield. And that will be a throw-in for the Panthers. And number 15, Hannah Slyku. And my apologies if I don't get the pronunciations right. But the way these two teams have played throughout the years, we've been on hand for a couple games in this series. It may come down to who gets that first break, because defensively, these two teams have been sound for a long time. It took an awkward carom the last time these two met for Stillwater to eke out a 1-0 victory. Lakeville North, by the way, 2-0 with wins over Washburn 2-1 and 10-2 over Owatonna. So both teams had a runaway win, and then they had a tougher game against competition that was closer to their level. Play at midfield. It's picked up by the Ponies, who have some new black kits this year. They don't have that diagonal stripe anymore, but you still see some red accents. Stillwater, they see a free ball perhaps, and a foul is called. Number 20 for the Ponies, Luca Johnson, sprinted to the ball. A Lakeville North player collided with her. And we have a stoppage, either a foul or an injury timeout. 32:38 to go. In that process, one of the Lakeville North players was injured. Can't read the number, but in the effort to stop Luka Johnson, we have a Lakeville North player slowly walking off the field. Conditions are a little damp. Again, dealing with misty, foggy conditions here at Pony Stadium. Nothing serious as far as rain's concerned, just a light mist. And a foul was called on Lakeville North. So Stillwater will get a free kick and a prime scoring chance here. And CJ Fredkove is lining up. Fredkove scored a pair of goals in the early part of the season. Got a couple players, actually. There's Fredkove. Now that Stillwater players swap, Maya Notch will take a shot, and it's stopped by the Lakeville North keeper. Mallory Benhart, the keeper for the Panthers, didn't have to traverse too much. Well-placed shot by Notch, but a good save by Benhart, and a crucial one with that scoring chance. .35 left in the first half. Lakeville North able to clear it, and Stillwater will tap it out of bounds. Conceding the throw-in, but giving the defense a chance to establish position. As Lakeville North looks for a chance here, and Hadley Johnson plays the hop. Made a bit of a tie-up there between number 20, Luka Johnson, and Hadley Whitty, and a foul was called on Stillwater, so Lakeville North will take over. Got tangled up there. I believe that was Marley Williams who sent it from deep. And here's Ashley Bennett. Nowhere to go. Stillwater able to clear it. Ashley Bennett. Her club team, Club Salvo, has made it to Nationals 3 times, winning it all in 2019. And Mallory Benhart also playing on the Salvo Soccer Club team. A soccer basketball crossover. Her brother is an offensive lineman at Nebraska. And in case you're wondering, we're talking about the Cornhuskers. Lakeville North, though, they produce a lot of fine, talented athletes. We've been fortunate enough to cover a few of them over the years. Once again, every time Lakeville North tries to penetrate the offensive third, they cannot establish any sort of rhythm. Stillwater able to get clearances and keep Lakeville North from creating any offensive threat, any offensive attack, as we have a little box out there between Marley Williams and Marisa Bonilla. Marley Williams on the high school All-American game watch list for soccer. First team All-State in 2020. So we've got a few umbrellas out, and certainly not the wet conditions of yesterday. There have been times where we've had to suspend broadcasts or cancel them because our cameras aren't designed to handle heavy rains, but just a little mist today, as Sam Wagner, our field cam, put it. Enough to provide a moody atmosphere. Moody sounds about right, and these two teams certainly in the mood to play. Some of the other college commits for Lakeville North include Macy Zins, who will play at MSU Moorhead, and Hallie Whitty, who will play at UMD. So a pair of D2s and a D1 in McKenna Lehman. There's a shot that goes over the crossbar. That was close. CJ Fredkove had a good look. And as we said before, sometimes it comes down to who gets the lucky breaks, as fans are filing in here at Pony Stadium. Traffic was snarled up a bit on Highway 36. So it might be why a few folks had a hard time getting here. I know there's some construction going on, and it's also Friday. We won't have this problem with our next two scheduled broadcasts, weather permitting, because they'll both be on Saturdays. September 25th, Stillwater hosts Maple Grove, another team that is a defending section champion. And October 2nd, final week of the regular season, Stillwater will host Centennial. But it's Stillwater getting the quality looks so far. They've had a couple of chances, one off a foul, and then another one from CJ Fredkove that came oh so close, just went over the crossbar. The key for Lakeville North, can they get something going? Stillwater controlling possession here, and that is always critical in the sport of soccer. Nell Smith has it. Some new faces compared to our last broadcast. Of course, Stillwater girls soccer, plenty of familiar faces over the years. Lexi Huber, as we said, one of the most decorated athletes, but Evie Cohn, Abby Ruhland come to mind. Marisa Bonilla displayed a lot of leadership. As a sophomore, the last time we covered some games a couple years ago, this Stillwater team's loaded.
Substitution on for your Lakeville North.
And so when you wonder how they'll look when they graduate top players as they have over the last few years, Mike Huber has done a great job cultivating a program that reloads. And that's what allowed Stillwater to get a second place spot, I believe, in the rankings. Second or third? Oh, am I kidding? I can look it up. Up to the minute rankings, folks. Here's Bonilla. And it will stay a Stillwater ball. Threatening here. So Stillwater is the second-ranked team, at least in the preseason. Rosemount was third, so I imagine those two will most likely swap positions. Lakeville North 7, Edina number 1, and Stillwater will play them on the road September 8th. If you're a soccer fan, Stillwater giving you plenty of dates to circle on the calendar. And White Bear Lake 6th. Historically, White Bear Lake and Eastridge have been the most consistent rivals in the Suburban East. So that Stillwater White Bear Lake series will be one to watch too. "23 minutes. And once more, Stillwater able to intervene, and get in the way every time Lakeville North tries to bring the ball up as that bounces off the monopod, but Sam is out of play. Every time Lakeville North looks to get a clearance of some kind, there's a Stillwater player able to read the passing lane, get into it, and keep Lakeville North from getting any openings. There's a shot from deep, and it goes in. It bounced off the post. Marisa Bonilla takes a chance from long range and drops a long bomb. Stillwater with the 1-0 lead.
Marisa Bonilla.
What a play. And some bravado by Marisa Bonilla, but that speaks to the confidence that Stillwater has built over the years. It comes in the 18th minute.
I tried.
Bonilla with her 3rd goal of the year. Like we said, though, sometimes it comes to lucky breaks. She got some assistance from that post on the right side. But it's not a fluky break by any means. The Ponies have established a consistent attack, not allowing Lakeville North to develop any sort of rhythm. So that's not a fluky score or a fluky bounce. That was a product of Stillwater establishing an attack, getting a few more looks, and cashing in. You don't see a lot of shots from deep, but Bonilla sensed an opportunity. One of the veterans and certainly one of the leaders who displayed that even in her early days. I remember a game against Moorhead when the weather was a little nicer. Stillwater racked up a ton of goals. Bonilla was among them. We talked to her, and she definitely belongs on this varsity team. As we said at the start, Stillwater scored 50 goals last year. 37 were from players who graduated. There's a dribbler. That is read by Mallory Benart. Not a bad try, though, for Luca Johnson. And in the sport of soccer, even if it's not the best look, take a shot. You never know what can happen. We saw that a couple minutes ago with Bonilla. So don't be afraid to take a shot. You never know what happens. Stillwater with a 1-0 lead, and that gives them some breathing room. As Stillwater looking to pick up their first win against a ranked team this season. Of course, they'll have plenty of chances for that, and you figure they will be in the mix for a while. This Lakeville North team, they're no slouch either. Among the South Suburban teams, Lakeville North the only one to make it, or I should say one of two. Rosemount the other. In case you're wondering when those two will meet, that will be September 16th. That should be another fun one.
Substitution back on for Lakeville North. Number 8, Elena Schromoff.
Elena Schromoff taking the place of Hallie Whitty. Substitutions are unlimited, as you know, with high school soccer. Schromoff was captain of her Salvo SC club team that made it to nationals this year and finished second. Schromoff has college aspirations in mind. Northwest Missouri State is among her hopes, but she wants to play soccer at the next level. We'll see what happens. I'm sure she'll find an opportunity. Lakeville North trying to find an opportunity, and they haven't had one in some time. Stillwater shutting the door. And here's another, I thought Stillwater was going to do it again, but the defense misplayed the pass. But here come the Ponies to deflect. Throwing it in will be Macy Zins. And once more, Stillwater able to intercept. And as long as they keep doing that, Lakeville North will have a difficult time creating opportunities. And that's a problem because they're trailing. Lakeville North on their heels. They'll concede a throw-in to the Ponies on the defensive third. Unlimited substitutions, as we noted, and a couple of years ago, the National Federation made this change. If the team leading makes a substitution with less than 5 minutes to go in the second half, the clock will stop. That yellow line is the out-of-bounds line for those keeping track, and Marisa Bonilla sealed off there, had a tough angle, took another crack at it, you never know, but that time it's played by Mallory Benhart, so it stays 1-0. Lakeville North looking for an opening. Once again, Stillwater's defense. Superb. Excuse me. Had a little frog in my throat. Stillwater takes over, though. Making that play defensively was Nora Wilczek. Lakeville North on the throw-in. Stillwater clearing it. And I like the game Stillwater's been playing. Getting into the passing lanes, not being too aggressive. Just about everybody has a sense of unfinished business, especially the section champions who didn't get an opportunity to play in a state tournament. Now, that was out of their control. They weren't able to find a site, and it was just one of those many flashpoints in the pandemic between those who wanted a sense of normalcy and those who we're keeping safety in mind. Stillwater will reset and give Hadley Johnson some action. It's been a while since we've called her name. It's been a while since any ball has come her way. Marley Williams was defended by Bonilla there. That will go to Lakeville North. The key for the Panthers is, can they get the ball downfield? Can they get a possession, get something established on offense? Because that's what they're going to need. Whether it comes on a counter, whether they're able to get a set play in motion. They had one corner kick, and that's about it. Not much in terms of shots on goal. The action has come from Stillwater's end. Stillwater with another clearance. Marley Williams plays it. That ball ricochets. Here's Fredkove outrunning her defender, Stromoff. Tries to find Bonilla, but she's got Williams right there, and Williams cannot reach the ball in time. Tried to track it down. Bonilla throws it in right away. Centering pass. Two-hopper. Played by Benhart. Not a bad idea. Certainly a well-designed set on the part of Bonilla. CJ Fredkove, I believe, took that shot. May have been, actually was Notch. 12 and 17 looks similar from up here. Well-designed set. Maya Notch had a good look. Maybe needed a little more velocity on it, but again, in a sport like this, anytime you get a shot on goal, go for it. One of those times it's bound to go in, right? And it has once for the Ponies in the case of Marisa Bonilla scoring her third goal of the year. In addition to the games you're seeing here on the TSB TV YouTube channel, and if you're watching this on Valley Access channels, you're going to watch Lakeville North score on a counter. We were talking about that just a minute ago. The Panthers needed some sort of break, and a counter comes their way. And just like that, we're tied again. Lakeville North, it's been a while since they've scored in this series. But McKenna Lehman able to pounce.
Scoring for Lakeville, number 16, McKenna Lehman.
And it comes in the 28th minute. McKenna Lehman scoring her fifth goal of the year on the counter. Lakeville North, as we said, hadn't been able to establish much in terms of sets, but she found that opportunity. And in matchups like this, whether one team is superior to the other, although in this case I think, whoa, that bounced right off the official. It will stay Lakeville North ball. But a matchup like this, both teams in the top 10, historically they play close. But since this series began in 2017, that's the first time Lakeville North has scored. 2017-2018 in the regular season, scoreless draws. 2018 state quarterfinal, Stillwater wins 2-0. 2019, Stillwater wins 1-0. Lakeville North finally gets on the board in this series, but they want to do a little more than that. Stillwater with a shot from deep. Benhart with the save. Luca Johnson, good look. Got plenty of velocity on it. Benhart just made a good play. So Stillwater's sending a reminder to Lakeville North that you may have scored on us, but we're not out of this yet.
Substitutions on for Stillwater. Number 15, Grace Shaw. Number 16, Ella Stevely. Number 24, Cassie Wells.
Just confirming that Lakeville North indeed scored, because it hadn't showed up on the scoreboard yet, and sometimes we get so caught up in moments that we might forget if something happened. So we just want to make sure, double check. And since I'm right next to the scores table, that's not a hard thing to do. Stillwater with the interception. Bonilla has it. Has to eke through a defender. Lakeville North's back line playing her well and forcing Bonilla to kick back out right into the waiting leg of Abby Ruhland. Ruhland, a soccer and basketball multi-sport athlete. And the Panthers will get another shot here. Potentially, that is. They got a throw in, but once more, having some trouble establishing a set. Abby Ruhland again, looking to make something happen. Not a first half we've been accustomed to since we started covering this series a few years ago. I was expecting a lot of defense, and to be fair, there has been plenty of that. A bevy of saves by Mallory Benhart. She's making some good plays at the net, stopping the shots that come her way. Nothing too acrobatic needed just yet, but a stop is a stop. Although she did concede a goal to Bonilla on that haphazard carom off the post, she got some help from the D1 commit, Mallory Lehman, who scored on a counter. There's a low one-hopper from Johnson to Benhart, and Benhart gloves it up again. Stillwater number 2 in the rankings, Lakeville North number 6. Rosemount figures to swap positions with Stillwater in the next poll, with Rosemount beating Stillwater 3-1 earlier this week. Rosemount 3, Stillwater 2. Edina number 1 in Class 3A.
And number 16, McKenna Lehman. And number 3, Ashley Bennett.
Lakeville North making a few substitutions in this stoppage here. Brian Lehman, the head coach of Lakeville North, has held that post for years. And if you like highlights, we've had plenty. On the whole, I'd say Stillwater the stronger team in the first half when you look at possession time. But in this sport, all you need is one good counter, and you can change the fortunes in an instant. That's what Lakeville North did. And they may have another chance here. This is Abby Ruhland. Adley Johnson was ready for it. But Lakeville North showing some strong counter moves. Stillwater will have to be mindful of that as we move into the second half. If they're not careful, they could concede another counterattack. As we were saying before, Lehman scored on the counter a while ago. If you are following along on the TSB YouTube channel or on Valley Access channels, if you want to catch the Stillwater team, Valley Access channels has 3 live doubleheaders scheduled, and I'll be on hand for all 3 of them unless something weird happens. Fingers crossed. Woodbury, White Bear Lake, or I should say Cretin-Durham Hall, and Eastridge will be the 3 teams. But the White Bear Lake series, September 21st, that one at White Bear Lake, that should be a fun one too. I'll be on hand doing volleyball that night. Stillwater on the move here with less than 5 minutes to play in the first. Stillwater lurking. And lurking. Lakeville North able to clear it. Marley Williams hoping to catch up to it. Couldn't find her lead player, number 8, Elena Shromoff, but that gives Lakeville North a chance to catch their breath for a moment. Stillwater with a throw-in. And Lakeville North starting to string some plays together. I still think they have a little work to do as far as getting sets established, but they're starting to find their groove from my vantage point. Nobody would confuse me for a soccer expert, but Lakeville North inching their way in this game. Now, I can't tell you what will happen in the next 40 minutes and change because of how capable these two teams are. Not a lot of fluky moments, not a lot of fluky opportunities between these two. Whatever they get, they earn it. And these two schools have done a lot of earning over the years. Stillwater making the state tournament multiple times. Reaching the semifinals in 2018. Who can forget? Lost a close one to Wayzata that went to extended penalty kicks. Lost by 1 in that scenario, and one of those situations where all you ask is for a shot at the end. And Stillwater came up just a bit short in that sequence. They lost in the quarters the following year, and as we noted, in 2020, there was no state tournament. Stillwater finishing the season the #1 team and champions of their section, but no way to know how a state tournament would have played out. But it will remain a hypothetical through the test of time. In case anyone is wondering, there is a state tournament. As far as we know, plans to have a normal year. Of course, if that changes, we'll respond accordingly. And Stillwater will pick up another corner kick opportunity. Amelia Bartosh will do the honors. Third set piece via the corner kick for the Ponies. That ball ricochets! What a play by the Lakeville North defense! Benhart wasn't in position, but one of her teammates got herself lined up and knocked the ball away. That was Macy Zins, who got in front of the ball and batted it away. An impressive stop by Macy Zins. A position player can't get credit for a save, but that was a big one for Lakeville North against a dangerous corner kick. And that has defined this game. Lakeville North, outside of that goal by Bonilla, they have come up with some clutch stops. And it looks like Lakeville North might get another one here. Stillwater couldn't get the chest trap down, but number 4 in the Ponies, Grace Kleppe, able to bat that away, and I don't think Lakeville North's going to have enough time. No, it's going to roll out of bounds. Lakeville North will try to throw it in, but they're going to run out of time here before they get one more crack at it. But Lakeville North staying in this one, drawing even with Stillwater. A number of big saves, including that one by Macy Zins a minute ago. They scored on a counter from McKenna Lehman. Stillwater getting their lone goal from Marisa Bonilla on that deep shot in the 18th minute with a friendly assist from the right post. So after 40 minutes, we're even at 1. And it should come as no surprise considering how this series has played out. These two teams have played even for a long time. We'll be back for the second half in a moment. Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves. Holloman, good if it goes. Yes! Game winners.
James, she's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot! It goes in!
And everything in between. Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching. Second half about to get underway between Stillwater and Lakeville North. Mike Peden here, and plenty of saves on the part of Mallory Benhart, keeping Lakeville North in this one. We're tied at 1, though. Stillwater got on the board first. Marisa Bonilla with a deep shot that bounced off the right post and in. Lakeville North answered 10 minutes later on a counter play that McKenna Lehman cashed in for a score. Stillwater came close late in the second half, but Macy Zins may have come up with the save of the game. It came off a Stillwater corner. The ball was in play. Benhart couldn't get to it, but Macy Zins was there to provide backup, and backup she did. Still misty here at Pony Stadium. We've had to wipe down the lenses a couple of times. Not enough to
Everybody's switching sides.
affect the quality of our cameras, at least not yet, but if it gets too wet, we'll respond accordingly. It's one of those weird days, though, because if you looked at the forecast, they said the threat of rain moved out, but there would be a drizzle, a mist of sorts. And it's enough where it's gotten into the lenses, but just a little bit of water. Ready for the second half to start. We've got a couple more soccer games scheduled here on the TSB Television YouTube channel,
Earring.
as we are awaiting the second half kickoff. Those games will be on Saturdays and hopefully a little less misty. So the teams switch sides, and we resume play. Stillwater on the move. Lakeville North is there. Now, if we do end the second half in a draw, both teams would play a pair of 10-minute extra time periods. But with how these two teams have played when it comes to opportunities, we'll see what happens. That goal from McKenna Lehman was the first that Lakeville North has scored against Stillwater in this series. And that goes back to 2017. And with the return to normal as far as scheduling is concerned, that brings back a lot of these close non-conference games. And a nice play by the Ponies to get a corner kick out of it. I believe Bonilla bounced it off a Lakeville North defender. Couldn't break through Zinn, so all Bonilla had to do was just bounce it off of her and give Stillwater a chance for another set piece. Fredkove, that goes off the post, and Lakeville North clears it away. Stillwater playing the ricochet well on that set piece. Lakeville North able to get another clearance. That has kept them in this game. And another corner is coming. Bartosh, that was well placed. 5 corner kicks for the Ponies, just 1 for the Panthers. Fredkove from the middle fires a dribbler, and as we said before, situations like that, you might ask yourself, why would someone take a shot? You don't know what can happen, so if you see an opening, go for it. You might get a lucky bounce. Bonilla has it, fighting off Zinn's. Tough angle on the part of Bonilla. Lakeville North effective at cutting off Bonilla, at least in sets. Again, she got that score from deep in the first half. So we'll see what happens over these next 35 minutes or so.
Stepping on for Lakeville number 4, Kaylee Thompson.
Kaylee Tomzek going in for the Panthers, a former junior Olympian in gymnastics and another soccer basketball crossover athlete at Lakeville North. There are a lot of soccer and basketball crossovers with this Lakeville North team, but Lakeville North in athletics, they're one of those schools. They're the front runners. Stillwater might have an opening here. That shot goes wide left. Luca Johnson had a good look. Was set up beautifully on the pass from Brooke Nelson. Johnson just couldn't put it at the net.
Sub for Lakeville North, number 14, Maya Dirks.
Maya Dirks going in for the Panthers. Has plans to participate in golf this spring. And a church leader at Hosanna Church and a volunteer at the Ronald McDonald House. Brian Lehman was gracious enough to give us some biographical notes that the players put together, sharing a little bit about themselves, and it's always fun to hear what these athletes do, not only in sports, but elsewhere. I say this all the time, you're more than your record, you're more than your stat sheet, whether I'm calling a game or hosting an episode of the Mic'd Up Sports Podcast. That's one reason why we were happy to come back and at least have the prospect of a normal season. We have a foul called on Stillwater just outside the 18-yard box. So a free kick for Lakeville North. We haven't had many of those, but here's the problem. Stillwater will give a free kick, and that gives McKenna Lehman a great chance here if she decides to take it. Ashley Bennett is behind the ball. Bennett, Abby Ruhland, and McKenna Lehman. Any one of them could strike. Bennett with 2 goals this season. Ruhland with 4. Well, Stillwater was ready for it. Lakeville North tried to play a little trickery there, using Bennett as a fake, a decoy, and now Stillwater on the run. Luca Johnson looking for a counter. Stopped by number 12, Elena Tukolsky, but the Ponies still on the move. Well read, though, by the Ponies' defense. And that's going to be another foul on the push from behind on Stillwater, but that was a well-read play. Lakeville North tried the fake and set up for Lehman, but Stillwater read it all the way, and Lehman had nowhere to go. So a prime scoring opportunity for the Panthers, nullified by the Stillwater defense. They'll get the free kick following the foul. Marley Williams to do the honors. And here's a familiar sight. Lauren Kuda throwing it in, number 2, one of the names that I'll be working to memorize over the next few weeks. As you know, soccer, it's a relatively short season, just 5-6 weeks long. A lot of that has to do with weather, so you get 3 games a week. And by this time in October, the season will be over, roughly speaking. Maya Notch looking for help. That ball bounced off the head of Johnson. There's Maya Notch. If you've been following our coverage over the years, Maya Notch, this is a fun story that we did, as Kuda couldn't quite catch up to it in time. Maya Notch drives her own pony. Well, her horse is part pony. Rides and drives horses. Works out at a horse farm. They have their own, and they also work out at a neighbor's one. We did a story on that many years ago for the Ponies All Access show, and Maya Notch told me then, we had a good chat as we did the story, but she told me, think of horses as really giant dogs. Still getting used to them because I want to be gentle with horses. They have kicking power, and the last thing I want to do is get kicked by a horse. But that was a fun story. Maya Notch goes to Stillwater, and the horse she owns is part pony. Stillwater on the free kick, a little too long. Right idea on CJ Fredkove trying to hook up with Bartosh, but a little too long. Benhart able to track it down. That story, by the way, is still on the Valley Access Channel's YouTube page on Maya Notch. So if you want to check it out and see the fun we had with horses, it's up there. That was a fun story to do. We've got a pinball effect going around here. Who's going to win the scrum? It's Stillwater. Luka Johnson can't get past Williams. Marley Williams performing commendably on the defense. Stillwater trying to get the centering pass, and the ball will roll past everybody, and Benhart will scoop it up. And another foul is called. Going in, I was expecting maybe another scoreless draw. That won't be the case today. We could have another draw, if only because these two teams play each other pretty close. We've had 2 draws in this series. Bonilla trying to catch up to that ball and able to get it off Williams, so Stillwater will get a breather for a moment. And again, Stillwater, the stronger offensive team in terms of sets. As it continues to mist here at Pony Stadium, and you can see fog starting to set in off in the distance. That shouldn't affect the field. That would be something. Luka Johnson making a lot of plays in the midfield and up front. Getting a lot of touches. She's had a few shots. Tried the centering pass there, but too much traffic. The rebound goes in! Stillwater cashes in on the second opportunity. They scored once on the ricochet, or almost scored. That time they do. CJ Fredkove in the 55th minute scores off the rebound, and Stillwater retakes the lead. CJ Fredkove picks up her 3rd goal of the year. And Stillwater's offense, the more consistent of the two. Lakeville North able to score in that counter, but persistence paying off for the Ponies. The first goal came on that hop from Bonilla. The second goal coming off a rebound. So Stillwater cashing in on the breaks. And with these two teams, the caliber of play, they've been good for a long time. Playoff contenders for a long time. State tournament contenders. That's what it comes down to. The little things, those breaks. I'll tell you what, this game isn't helping me at all with this tension headache, because every time there's an exciting play, I shout and then my head wants to explode. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. Here comes Lakeville North looking for another counter opportunity. Stillwater able to clear it. Ponies would love to get their first win against a ranked team this season. And, of course, they'll have plenty of opportunities for that in the regular season. With Edina coming up, White Bear Lake in the conference. And don't forget Maple Grove and Centennial. Those two aren't slouches. Maple Grove would have made state last year had we had one. Soccer moving up to 3 classes this year. Here comes Lakeville North, looking for another counter punch. But Lauren Kuda able to clear it, preventing Ariana Balgobin from doing something. Lakeville North will get the ball in the throw-in, but like we said, in some cases, the best option for defense is to clear it, get it out of bounds, and allow your team a chance to reset for a throw-in. Offside is the call. We haven't had too many of the offside calls today, but you saw the flag go up from the line judge, so Lakeville North unable to make the most of that possession. Ariana Balgobin, by the way, plays for the MTA 06 ECNL team. Made it to nationals. Some other fun facts about Lakeville North. Maddie Lee, we haven't seen her a lot today, but she wants to become an orthodontist someday. Lauren Leiden, a manager on the gymnastics team and also plays on the golf team at Lakeville North. Hannah Slyku, a manager for the girls hockey team at Lakeville North. And I enjoy reading all of these activities that these athletes are involved in. Stillwater leads 2-1. Goals from Fredkove and Bonilla. This is an opportunistic Stillwater team. They did score first in the game with Rosemount, led 1-0 in the first half, but the Irish came back, scored 3 in the second frame. Lakeville North looking for another counterattack. Stillwater gets a read on it this time, and Hadley Johnson, just missed Lauren Kuda. I'm a little surprised there that she went that route, but there was a Lakeville North player in the vicinity, so Hadley Johnson couldn't get too cozy. So she concedes the throw-in and gives Lakeville North a potential opportunity, but the Stillwater defense overall has done a good job on sets. We'll see if they can do that again here, and they won't have to worry in that instance, as Kuda was bumped by Balgobin. And that will give Stillwater the ball. 20 minutes and 38 seconds left in this misty, moody, non-conference battle. A rare 5 o'clock Friday game. And this is the only time we can do it. That's why I say rare, because school hasn't started yet for either team. That will change next week with Labor Day, of course, and everyone will go back to classes. Who knows what will happen? Everyone eager to reopen, and we'll have to see what happens. But so far, I haven't heard of too many cancellations or rescheduling as far as high school games. There have been a few college games. St. Scholastica and St. Thomas had to push back the start of their seasons due to COVID protocols, but compared to this time a year ago, we're in much better shape. And on the volleyball side, and I'm sure you could say thing on the soccer side, you'll hear it, this line, be prepared to pivot. But I'd like to think the prospects, the chances of having a state tournament and a proper conclusion are much better than a year ago, because we have a way to control the COVID virus. Stillwater looking for an insurance goal here. Here's Maya Notch. She's had a couple of chances. Goes to Fredkove, who fires from deep. Wide left. Not a bad try from the Ponies. And at the very least, even if you don't score in opportunities in moments like that, The more time you get in the attacking third, the less time you give Lakeville North to find another equalizer. Bonilla able to bounce it off the Lakeville North defender. And another set piece is coming our way through the corner kick. Stillwater with 6 of them. They almost scored on one. Macy Zinn's able to get the stop. Ponies couldn't do much there, but Lakeville North just clearing it out to prevent a chaotic situation from unfolding. And here comes another corner, the 7th for the Ponies. 7 corners for Stillwater, 1 for Lakeville North. If nothing else, that gives you an idea of how much Stillwater's offense has controlled possession. Well, that was close, but just outside the reach of Bonilla. Tried to head it. Didn't quite line up, but as we said, the longer Stillwater can establish themselves in the attacking third, the less time Lakeville North has to put in an equalizer. They tied it up on a counter in the first half. Stillwater just looking to eat up time now. They'd love another goal. But as long as they can keep possession, that gives the Ponies an advantage. There's Brooke Nelson. She was bumped as she tried to weave around a pair of Lakeville North defenders. And that will be a foul and a free kick. Not quite a corner kick, but Amelia Bartosh will play it. Benhart making a good play. Lakeville North hops it over to the Stillwater defense, but there was nobody there. They'll hang on to it, though, on the throw-in. And now Lakeville North marching their way downfield. But they can't do much with it. Adley Johnson seeing some action. A quiet second half for her thus far. And here comes Nelson. And we're going Lakeville North's way. In the first half, we noted all of these Stillwater graduates from last year, accounting for 37 of the team's 54 goals. As Lakeville North looks for another counter opportunity. We mentioned some of the alumni. who have gone on to do big things. Lexi Huber playing at St. Thomas. McKenna Lehman, soon to be her teammate. Dara Andringa playing at Wisconsin. You have several Division II players. Evie Cohn, Hallie Peterson, Haley Nelson. And don't forget Megan Howard. She was fun to watch too. Maya Notch, I'll tell you what, shows a lot of confidence. Saw that it was going to be Stillwater ball, and she wasted no time grabbing it. Have to admire that spunk. But she wants to cash in if there's an opportunity. Lakeville North looking to make another move. And the Stillwater defense sealing her off. So another goal kick coming. Bonilla hesitates for a minute, waits for Notch to help. Notch with the pass to Fredkove. Tough angle. Couldn't tell from up here. Lakeville North might have gotten a piece of it, but another stop for Mallory Benhart. She has picked up a lot of saves tonight. Whether or not it results in a win, we will see, but Benhart doing her darndest. Ashley Bennett going in place of Maya Dirks. Zins, who got that big stop in the first half. Her club team, another Salvo member. So part of that runner-up group. She works as a PCA volunteer for a neighbor with Down syndrome. And here comes Bonilla. That shot was deflected by Marley Williams. Marley getting a lot of action on the Lakeville North side. Lakeville North facing a tough proposition. They finally get a goal on Stillwater, something that hasn't happened since the annual series began in 2017. The problem is they're trailing to Stillwater. The Panthers have not defeated the Ponies in their matchups. They've been close. We've been on hand for a few of them. So Lakeville North right there, and they usually give Stillwater a run, but the Ponies just as prolific. And if you're Mike Huber, this is what you want to see. Stillwater controlling the ball, keeping Lakeville North from developing any plays. Get in there and stop the Panthers. But Lakeville North has other ideas. With less than 10 minutes to go. This is where the urgency may start to creep up. Throwing for the Panthers. And that is ruled off of Lakeville North. So a goal kick for the Ponies, and they can exhale for a moment.
Substitution on for Lakeville North, number 7, Missy Zins.
Zins going back in for the Panthers. She made a big defensive stop in the first half to preserve a 1-1 tie. Foul on Lakeville North. But right now, the Panthers need to find some offense, whether it comes on another counter or another means. Because they're running out of time. And any foul against them, goal kicks, that will allow Stillwater to milk clock. Now, again, if we go to the 5-minute mark and Stillwater makes a substitution, the clock will stop, and that is a National Federation rule change that was implemented a couple years ago. It wasn't much of an issue at the state level, but I think one of those situations where you're trying to be proactive in some cases. Stillwater takes another shot. Stopped by Benhart, but she can't corral it, so the ball is still live. Last touch by Stillwater. Lakeville North with the throw-in. And Mach will bat it away. Again, if you're Stillwater, anything that will kill clock. And Kuda played that one. She knew it was going out of bounds, so just wait for it to roll out and then pick it up. Play it midfield. McKenna Lehman, right idea, saw Abby Ruhland, but the lead pass a little too strong, and it goes right to Johnson. No harm there for the Ponies. Bonilla flips it to Fredkove. Can she catch up to it? Centering pass, ball still loose. Notch, oh! Notch had it. Right there. That's tough. That's a tough break for the Ponies. That more than likely would have sealed it. Instead, Lakeville North still has a lifeline. But as we say, sometimes it comes down to the breaks. The Panthers catch one. Can they make the most of it? Benhart will clear it past the sideline. It's still Stillwater ball, but it'll give Lakeville North a chance to get their defense here as time is winding down. Centering pass to Bonilla. But the flag went up, Stillwater offside.
Offside violation on Stillwater.
Another break for the Panthers. Stillwater with a couple of chances to put this one away. Maya Notch misfired, and then an offside call, but Lakeville North can't afford that. Conceding another throw into the Ponies. They have controlled possession throughout most of this game. Nelson couldn't get past the double team. Lakeville North able to keep it away from the end line. So they will not concede another corner. Stillwater hasn't scored off a set piece, but they came close once, and that is why teams are weary of conceding a corner kick. You just never know on a set piece what can happen. Whether they're corners or off of free kicks. Lakeville North with one corner, and they had another free kick, but Stillwater read the fake. Notch takes another shot. Wide right, Benhart played it. The result's the same. But, again, if you're the Ponies and Mike Huber, you're okay with this. Lakeville North making a substitution. That will not stop the clock. The The clock stoppage only comes into play, as I understand it, when the leading team makes a substitution at this stage of the game. Maya Dirks, I'll tell you what, even if Stillwater doesn't get another goal here, her work these last few minutes invaluable, because at the very least she has eaten up a lot of time just from her play in the attacking side. Notch with the header to deflect that throw, and it's still Lakeville North ball though, and they're marching downfield again with less than 3 minutes. If they pick up a goal here, they will more than likely force an extra session. That hurts. Goal kick for the Ponies, and they're not going to be in any hurry to put this in play. Let's see how this is played. Back and forth. Whoever can get control is in position. Lakeville North was looking for that. And they'll get a corner here with less than 2 minutes to go. Abby Ruhland making a play for it, and that's why we say if you see a chance, take it. You never know what can happen. So Lakeville North with their second corner. Not a lot of set pieces for the Panthers. Here comes a crucial one. Ball's loose. Stillwater able to clear it. Hadley Johnson dove for it. She was in a vulnerable position, but not that time. Easy pickings for her on that shot from Tukalski. Will that be enough? Just over a minute to go. Stillwater looking for their first win over a ranked team. Lakeville North looking to stay unbeaten. 2-0. But a lot can happen. If Lakeville North can get another counter going or some type of set, they have a chance, and they still do. Stillwater able to clear it and force Lakeville North to throw it in. And a big break there. Abby Ruhland unable to control the throw-in, unable to control that pass. And Stillwater eating up a few more seconds. Opponents can get a clearance here. That should do it. And they got it. They got the clearance they needed. 10 seconds, but that clearance by the Ponies should be enough. And that will do it. Stillwater sends it away. And once more, knock off Lakeville North. So they pick up their third straight win against the Panthers. 2-1 the final. And they pick up their first win over a ranked team this season. Goals from Marisa Bonilla and CJ Fredkove for the Ponies. McKenna Lehman scoring for the Panthers. Lakeville North made it interesting. They scored on that counter, but Stillwater the stronger set team in terms of possessions, and that allowed them to cash in on those rebounds and other haphazard caroms, but that's what the sport comes down to. So the Ponies go to 2-1-0. Lakeville North falls to 2-1-0. And the Ponies pick up a big win after dropping a tough one to Rosemount. We'll see if we can get a word with a couple of the Stillwater players before we wrap it up. This is high school girls soccer.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes.
Yes! Game winners.
James, she's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot. It goes in.
and everything in between.
Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Joining me are the two goal scorers for the Ponies, CJ Fredkove and Marisa Bonilla. I guess a little miss doesn't hurt the two of you, but to get a big win against Lakeville North, your third straight win over the Panthers since the series began 4 years ago, what would you make of this game?
Oh, I'd say we're definitely coming into it after a loss on Tuesday. We came into it just fighting and ready to get a win as our home opener and just ready to work together and work for each other.
I completely agree. The loss against Rosemount wasn't good, and so it was good that we came out and we worked hard and we got it done.
Well, like the Rosemount game, you scored first, and then Lakeville North scored on a counter, but the difference was you stopped them. Even though you maybe didn't get a ton of saves compared to Lakeville North, what would you make of the defense? Because from our end, your defense was superb enough that you made Hadley Johnson's night pretty easy. She didn't have to get a lot of saves because you kept Lakeville North from establishing any sets.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, our defense is, I'd say, one of the best in the state, and we're just really proud with how they did tonight. It's definitely hard with the ground being all wet and it skips, but they held their own and they did super well tonight.
I agree. They did really well.
That's all. Yeah. Don't need any fancy analysis. Sometimes simple works too. Keep it simple, right? Yeah. KISS. Marisa, you scored the first goal from deep. Not a lot of players take chances like that, but you saw an opening, and I say this all the time in soccer. You see an opening, go for it because you never know. You got a friendly bounce off that right post, but getting that shot from deep and finding the net, how crucial was that in this game?
I think it was really important to get the first goal and put ourselves ahead. And we did let one up afterwards, but it was good that we had that first goal because we had a little cushion and we were able to score again and win.
Well, giving you that second cushion was CJ. You scored off of a rebound.
Yep.
Stillwater being an opportunistic team tonight, but sometimes the sport comes down to that, how you play the break. So a lot of action. You got the ball. So when you saw it coming to you, when did you sense that you could perhaps knock in the rebound?
As you can probably see tonight, I've been taking a lot of shots recently. I mean, not all are accurate, but just take your shots, especially in this condition. Like I said, it's wet. Anything could happen. The goalie could skip weirdly or something like that, and that's kind of just what happened there. So took my opportunity, and luckily it paid off.
That's why we say, if you see an opening, take it. You never know what can happen. And it's okay if you're not accurate all the time. Not even the top players, not even the national team is accurate 100% of the time. That would be a little much. But what would you make of this first week and hopefully a normal season? You didn't get a chance to have a state tournament, but coming off that section championship, how does that fill your confidence going into this year?
I mean, we definitely have work to do. I mean, like always, teams are good, and we're just going to come out, work as hard as we can, and prepare for sections, and then hopefully we'll make it to state. But right now I think we kind of have a little bit of determination in us just to kind of finish what we left off last year.
Yeah, I agree. We kind of got robbed of state last year, and we want to do the same thing again, win the section, win the conference, and go to state and hopefully do well.
Well, a long way between now and sections, but considering how well you played last year, I've got a feeling you'll be in the running again. You want to say hi to anybody?
Hi, Grandma.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hi, Grandma.
Well, stopped you there for a minute, CJ.
I don't know.
Just like that Lakeville North defense for a little bit. No. Well, congrats on the win, and hopefully you can dry off in this misty, wet condition. I mean, it could be worse. It could be downpours, but a little mist didn't hurt anybody. But once again, thanks for stopping by, and congrats on the win, and hopefully many more come your way.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Marisa Bonilla and CJ Fredkove, that wraps up our coverage here from Pony Stadium in Oak Park Heights. For the rest of our crew, I'm Mike Beaton. Thanks for watching.